Hi, my name is Ginger. I'm born and raised in Austin, and I'm a fourth year TXA design major, and I'll be graduating in May of this year.
Just tell me about yourself as a designer and an individual.
I feel like as a designer, I'm very technical in my work, and I really focus on making sure everything's super clean and making sure the inside looks as good as the outside. And I'm very methodical in my process. I make sure that I'm making patterns and changes all before I do like the final garment. So I think I'm a very meticulous and technical designer.
When did you first find your love for design and what got you into it?
I don't know exactly how old I was, but when I was a lot younger, my grandma got me a Janome Magnolia sewing machine, and me and her would work on little quilts at the time, and that's kind of all that we worked on. But I still had the machine, and I would mess around with it here and there. But once I was a freshman in college, I was kind of unsure of what I was doing. But then I was thinking, started practicing more and sewing more, and then I was actually I really am passionate about this. So that's kind of where it switched, freshman year of college. But I've always learned how to sew, so it was kind of then was the switch for me.
So yeah, tell me about the inspiration of your collection.
So my collection is called Highway Glamour, and the inspo for this collection was kind of I was trying to think of what I wanted to build this collection off of, and living in the city and walking around every day, I had to get some ideas flowing, and I just started paying more attention to what was around me and looking at the architecture, the graffiti particularly, just everything around me, what other people were wearing. And I decided on the name Highway Glamour because I wanted a more luxurious streetwear and kind of finding luxury in the mundane aspects of life. So I decided to make a streetwear collection.
Okay, cool. Yeah, tell me more about your collection, the colors, the patterns.
Right. So when I first started designing this collection, I wanted to have the base be more neutral colors, so blacks, whites, and grays. But I took a lot of inspo from Moschino and Ed Hardy and those kind of brands. So along with those neutral colors, I wanted to input really flashy and bright colors on top of that. So a lot that you'll see in my collection is these bright pink colors. This is my main look, but I also am going to be incorporating rhinestones of all rainbow colors and colored fur. So the base of each look is a white, black, or neutral color, but on top of it there's going to be bright flashes of colors.
So what are you most excited about for the fashion show?
I'm most excited about seeing the evolution of my design process, because this is kind of the culmination of my college experience. So I'm just really excited and to see how it all comes together and all of my visions, how they kind of are put together in the end, and just kind of enjoying the process up until the end. I think it'll be really rewarding.
Tell me kind of about your time in the lab. What does that look like weekly?
For me personally, I'm kind of I hate working on projects over multiple days, so I'll kind of give myself you need to finish this before you leave type thing. But I usually come in, put my headphones in, and kind of just lock in for I don't know, anywhere from 5 to 10 hours. But I feel I get the most done when I'm in a continuous stream of working, so I try to set aside I want to finish this by the time I leave.
This is just something that came to mind, but I know you said when you were walking around you kind of found inspiration from that. So you mentioned the graffiti and the people. What are some of those things you saw and you were oh yeah, I want to use that?
I would say particularly with graffiti and art in Austin, this collection I'm kind of basing it on my experience living in the city in Austin, and since I'm born and raised in Austin, I kind of wanted it to be inspired by that. But I think just when you're seeing graffiti and art and just the way buildings are constructed and just the colors and stuff, I wanted to kind of take inspiration from that. And especially with graffiti, there's so many bright colors and shapes, and at least with one of my looks, I'm going to be spray painting on them, and also screen print ink on it. So yeah, that's where that inspo comes from. But I also have architectural pieces like this one that has kind of a ladder of pleats and stuff.
Did that kind of come from the buildings in Austin?
Yeah, so I have 3 looks year, but also this is my main look. But yeah, it's like very architectural, but also like influenced by graffiti, and gonna put my own art on top of it.
Well, yeah, that's like all I have. If you want to talk about anything else,
I can talk about this jacket. So the fourth look I'm working on is gonna be the most time consuming one, and this is I titled it the Glamour Motorcycle Jacket. And here's the sketch that I have done for it, but I'm gonna start working on this one really soon. I finally got all of the materials in. Sourcing this pink leathers were pretty difficult, but I was able to find this like Barbie pink Italian suede, and then this metallic pink, also Italian suede, which I'm gonna be putting onto this jacket. I've made the sample of, but I'm really excited to start working on this. I just know it's gonna be a really long process, but this is definitely the biggest piece in my collection that I'll be working on.